Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Media's publications, Transformer Technology, Power Systems Technology, and Women in Power Systems. We're here at the IEEE PES&T conference in Anaheim in 2024, the 60th anniversary. These interviews are with thought leaders to be able to bring the best of the marketplace to you. My next two guests are Fabrice Harscoet. Thank you for joining me. You're with GE Grid Solutions, right?
Yeah.
And you are with GE Vernova. You're both with GE Vernova, right?
We're both with GE Vernova.
Yeah, and so you're Fabrice, you're Hany, Bayaa.
Yep.
Thank you for joining me. First of all, tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into the industry. We're going to start with you.
So let's start with me. I started in 2000, and I started after my school directly in the GIS industry. So I think we will talk later what is GIS.
Yeah.
So I've been quite long in that business so far. I worked most of the time in the R&D developing some new products, so I quite knew well the product.
With Grid Solutions?
Yeah, with
Okay.
other companies also.
Okay, all
I
right.
started with Schneider Electric some years ago already.
Okay, that's right.
And then I switched to Siemens Energy, and since 2017 I am with GE.
GEs.
Yeah.
Now you're with GE Vernova.
Yeah, right.
I love that name, okay.
Well, I've been with GE for 18 years, but I've been in different functions and businesses. I started with corporate, moved into capital, healthcare, aviation.
You
and
don't
all
look
that.
corporate.
Well, I did
He looks corporate.
I
You
did
don't
some.
look-
I'm trying to change that. But
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, now I'm with GE Grid Solutions, covering strategic marketing for Americas within the GE Vernova business.
Okay, before we get to Grid Solutions and GIS and some of the things we want to talk about your perception of what's going on in the power industry, because for decades everything was flat, right? And all of a sudden we had growth. Post-COVID, it has been like a hockey stick, right? But what are the challenges, what are the opportunities? We'll start with you, Fabrice.
I can tell you a little story. So as I said, I made some school in electrotechnics, and at that time the people at school, the teachers were saying, okay, it's a tremendous area that is coming. You will have some renewable energy. You will have some decentralized power and things like this. You will have a huge job. And then time was passing, nothing was happening, okay? And
That was
now
28 years ago, they
Yeah,
told you.
20 years ago. And now we seems to be finally there.
Uh-huh.
And on top of that, we have the intelligent artificial that is coming with
Yeah.
data centers with full of demands. So it seems to be thrilling, the time coming now with the energy.
Okay, it is finally here. How about your
Well,
perspective?
I agree. Things are changing. If you look at, for example, in the US, you will see aged infrastructure and a lot of needs for modernizing that infrastructure. And for that, kind of like, I would say, blackout of doing nothing for over decades. Now, all of a sudden, all of things started with the stimulus packages, with all the funding that coming from the government to enhance the infrastructure. You will see a big boom in the market. Okay?
Yeah.
Along with all the new technology coming in, the need for more power for data centers, for other industries, that is driving the industry to completely different level.
So anytime, I'm going to stay with you on something, anytime that you have great opportunity, you have great challenges. Because as an industry, to your point, Fabrice, everybody was afraid, I don't want to spend a lot of money in investing capacity. Suddenly, we don't have enough capacity. We don't have enough transformers. We don't have enough bushings. We don't have enough of anything. But that's one of the problems. There are other problems that have come with great growth. What are some of the problems you see in the market?
Well, supply chain. Supply chain is one of the major
Well, I
problems.
thought we fixed that after COVID.
Well, we have with the demand and the supply. It's a big
Yeah.
gap. Labor again. Gap. That's another issue. There is a lot of demand that's coming in, and all the OEM are not able to fulfill all of that. So
Right.
it pushes all the opportunity to the future because there is no enough capacity.
You can't pick up on his problems. You got to have your own problems.
Yeah, you say there are challenges. In my past, I worked almost all my career in R&D, so you have new things to build for sure. So that's renewable energy, for instance. We are talking about producing the energy, the electricity now from the sea, okay, with the offshore platforms. So this means probably new product. probably new maintenance things that we were not doing before, so new solution to propose. So for us, as a manufacturer of product, it's really something, it's going to be terrific, what is coming now.
It's finally here, Fabrice. You finally see, look, he's smiling because he knows his career is now going to take off. That's excellent. Let me stay with you for a minute. R&D, you have to have a certain mentality in R&D. It's a good mentality, but you have to have a certain bent to the future that's not there yet, right? You have to develop something that's not there yet. Talk to me a little bit about that, the philosophy.
We are a bit prepared to that because, as I said, at school we were already talking about this. So that's something we have been prepared for. We will come to this later, but me today, my job is product management in GIS.
Right.
Okay, that's the kind of technology we have there. And this is something that probably will meet the demands, new demands.
Yeah.
Like you need to put some switch here on a platform, offshore platform. You don't have space anymore, and that's perfectly fitted for our technology. So we see lots of new things arising that we were not having, new possibility to go to the technology that we in GE Vernova are developing. So this is quite good for us.
And it's interesting, if you put anything out on an offshore, it has to be designed differently because that's a very harsh environment, right? It's not the same as putting it into a substation in Atlanta, Georgia. Right? When we were talking, now I want to switch to GE Vernova Grid Solutions, particularly one of the solutions being GIS versus AIS. When we were talking, you explained, tell me again why you think GIS is on the upswing.
Well, if you look at the opportunity in the market with the current industries that booming, take an example, data center. Data center, they don't need to have a bigger space for AIS. They will utilize GIS because of the size, because of efficiency, because of security. Multiple factor comes in that Fabrice can give more details on the GIS on that one. But that industry by itself, GIS is a good solution. Oil and gas. If you look at the renewables, again, offshore platform. So this is where you see all these industries are picking up, okay, and the GIS will be the best solution for that. On top of other benefit that GIS brings in.
And so he just did it on top of the other benefits that GIS brings. What are the benefits GIS over, other than space?
Maybe I can explain a little what the GIS is. You cut me if I'm going too much into it.
Okay, no, go.
Today we are talking about high voltage switchgear. Switchgear is what? It's a junction inside the network that connects the power plant, the transmission line, and at the end you have the transformer, and this is where we put our material, the switchgear. So that's interconnecting all those things.
Yeah.
Okay. And today there are two main technologies for this switchgear: the AES technology, the GIS technology. The difference is very simple. In AES, between the active parts where you have the voltage on the ground, you have only as insulator the air. Okay. So this means you need big distance. If you go into GIS, it's completely different. You will have your product that is encapsulated into a housing, and inside this housing you have the active parts, and you put a gas under pressure. Okay, and we select this gas for its excellent electrical property. This enables to decrease a lot the size, but it's really a lot. If you take the same substation in AES and GIS, you can divide by 20 the size.
By 20?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
So it's really not the same field. And for the new application that we see in platform, okay, this is really an asset. We are talking also, I have seen that in the tutorial yesterday, people are fearing sometimes for this critical installation some terrorist attacks, things like this. As it is encapsulated, it is already armored, so it can be a solution for that. It also has an excellent withstand to seismic, for instance, and this is with what we see today with the change of the weather condition, more and more floods and things like this. Again, GIS is very adapted for that. Okay, so that's all the possibility we see in that technology. Before the people were looking at AES technology, we think that they are going to move for all those reasons.
Okay. I assume utilities too are having issues with getting space. Cities, there's a rule, not in my backyard. I don't want a big substation in my backyard. You make it small, you make it compact. So I assume that's another application?
Yeah, and something that you can do in GIS, because it is inside a volume, closed volume. You can put it in a building. Okay. So you can erase it from the surrounding. You don't even know it's there. Okay. Because you have it inside the building. You can put in an urban area, so you can have it in the garden without knowing it's there.
In my backyard. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Is there another subject other than GIS that he's expert at?
Well,
yes, there is.
Well, there's many, because if you look at GIS Vernova, we have, if you look at the portfolio of GIS Vernova, okay, we do everything for the electrification, from distribution, transmission, storage, conversion, harmonization of, or orchestration of the entire power from the source of the generation until the utilization.
Great generators. We started making generators a long time ago.
Yeah, that's another business that we have under the power business under GIS Vernova, as well as the wind and others. So yeah, we're now a standalone company, targeting to make sure that we electrify the world at the same time decarbonize it.
So what is grid solutions? Why grid solutions? Because a lot of what you described is the grid. Now your grid solutions within GE Vernova, what's unique about it?
It's quite simple to understand. We are developing some products, some solutions, for electrifying, like Hany say, electrifying the world, and at the same time we have to decarbonize. So that's the two things that has to be done. And in grid solutions, there is a big business. It's a power transmission. So we are developing all kind of medium voltage, high voltage products. We are in fact designing it. We are manufacturing them. We are also servicing them and selling them.
Yeah.
That's what we are doing. And this for all the technology that are in the market. So you can have GIS, you can have AES, you can have. With all those new solutions we are seeing, there is a big question regarding also the reactive power. So we have a lot of PQP solution, capacitors, things like this. So there is really a huge portfolio there.
If you want to understand how it's structured, you have GIS Vernova, and then you have multi-businesses under that. You have the power, you have the wind. Power is mainly the generation, which is the gas turbine and the other power generation piece. You have the wind, and then the electrification. And that electrification business has the grid solution part of that. So we're part of the bigger GIS Vernova.
Okay. As you look at, because you're talking about a lot of change, is there a retrofit capability for GIS? Because what I'm saying is you're talking about a new platform. Let's talk about a substation that has used AIS. Is there a purpose and a reason for retrofitting and going to GIS within the utility industry, you think?
Well, retrofit, we're seeing some changes or moving from, if they want to modernize a substation, which is an aged substation. Some utilities are considering going to GIS solution rather than using AIS. But others are not. So it depends. We cannot say it's happening all over the place, but it depends on the utility itself and their direction. But we've seen some of them are going into GIS for upgrading the existing solution. Right?
And part of that is if you have to increase capacity of that substation, but you're fixed, because the substations many times, they have a fence around it for a reason. That's the only property that they have. So now if you're putting larger transformers, adding a transformer, adding some other things, you've got to maximize your space. I would think GIS would be perfect for that.
Lots of discussion we had the last day with customer is looking at space. And because of this huge difference of size between the two technology, of course they are coming to us. They are asking questions. They don't all have already some GIS in their equipment, so they want to know about it. They want to know about constraints, and most of the projects that we are successful in are because we are able to enter the fence, as you are saying.
Yeah. One of the last things I want to go on, we are creating a tribute to IEEE that we'll be publishing in August. And since we're at IEEE, I ask each of you the question, What is the value to IEEE in your career and you think for the industry? Start with you.
I think IEEE, it's quite important in kind of standardization, you know. Standardization and understanding what is the expertise behind, because all the constructors, all the utilities are working together, we are exchanging, and you know those products, they shall be really reliable, huh?
Right.
Because without them you have nothing. Huh?
Right.
You don't have even the light at home. So that's for that it's very important. And when it comes to some change like today, we have to find an alternative to SF6. At some stage, standardization enter into the game, and that's important to have all the experts together, not only on one side, huh? Utilities on one side, customer on the user, on the manufacturer. We are making the product and having them discuss together. It's quite an important thing.
Okay, good, thank you.
Well, I agree with Fabrice, and if I look at it from customer perspective, as when utilities comes over here and see all different OEMs at the same time, at what they offer, speak to them at the same time, all together, that will help them, you know, validate and value the difference between them. That's from the perspective of those. So this is why I believe having that in IEEE is very good for them. At the same time, from OEM perspective as well, it's good opportunity for us, okay, to show why we're different, what we're bringing different versus others.
That's a good point.
While everyone is there. So it will be at the same time, the same spot, a full evaluation for the process.
That's excellent. Fabrice, thank you. Hany, thank you so very much. It's been excellent. I've learned more than I knew.